Living a life is one thing, writing about it is another, and making a difference through it is a total different ballgame. This is exactly what our next guest has done with her efforts. Miss Chiman Zebari is an published, reputable author. Hello, Miss Chiman. How are you?
Hello, good to see you. Thank you. I'm doing good.
Ec-
Are you doing okay?
Fantastic. So,
Good.
thank you for being with us and spending some time with us.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we're going to get to know you a little bit. So tell our audience, who are you and where are you from?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation and being interested in my book and doing this Zoom meeting. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
My name is Chiman Zebari, as you mentioned. I am from Accra originally, in Kurdistan region of Iraq. Being Kurdish has shaped who I am, grounded in resilient tradition and pride. Since 1977, I've also been a proud American, carrying both homeland with me every day. Through my life, my food, my Kurdistan, I share my stories about Kurds, our culture and history so that our voices are never lost.
So fantastic. So about how many years ago you published your book?
Actually published this book in
2015.
yes.
And once again, what prompted you and what was that feeling, initial feeling that when thought came in your mind about you got to write a book?
Well, what really inspired me to become an author was, because my life holds stories that deserve to be told, shaped by loss, resilience, and hope. I wrote to give meaning of my food carries memoir and memory, love, and survival. Kurdistan lives in my language, values and strength. I want my story to inspire my grandchildren, okay, and others to believe in their dreams, to show that courage and persistence pays off, that success comes at the end eventually with a lot of hard work.
Did anyone mentor you being an author or become an author?
No, actually, no, no one. With working full time, having two children, grown children actually, and grandkids, and full time employee, full time mom, full time wife. It was difficult, but I had this on my mind 10 years prior to writing this book. So every time I would cook, like in Middle East, we don't measure. We just eyeball everything. So like my mom, when she cooks, I'm like, how much do you put in it? She goes, oh, I just eyeball it. But for the book, it was difficult for me to, each time I cook, let's say, dolma, which is the stuffed grape leaves, I would sit down and measure every little bit, and then I write it down, like how many cups of, chopped vegetable or meat or whatever. So that was a little difficult for me.
So we can expect some good recipes too in your
Absolutely.
book?
There are a lot of colorful, beautiful pictures in the book as well.
Yes.
And
I'm a fan of, like things like kebabs and rice,
yes,
any Middle Eastern and Muslim country has
right.
great dishes like that. So what was difficult about your journey being an author and how did you overcome it?
Oh, okay. So let's say, let me tell you a little bit about my book first. The book reflects of my family life, our roots, okay, and our journey. I was born in Accra, as I told you before, I was from there, and spent my early years in Erbil until I was about 10. But circumstances, forced my family to live as a refugee, on Iran-Iraq border, nearly for a year, before we eventually settled in a city called Karaj in Iran. Okay. It is more than a memoir. This book is more than a memoir. It is a story of resilient culture and hope. I share the flavor of traditional Kurdish food and the spirit of Kurdistan, and also a lesson that my family learned through the hardship. My goal is to inspire readers, especially my grandchildren's and anyone chasing their dream, to preserve, embrace, encourage, and believe that persistence eventually pays off. Okay, so and this is where it stands.
Very good. A lot of great message, a lot of good effort. And you want your readers to take away from your book is exactly what? Tell me. I want to hear it again.
Well, as a refugee, you know how we fled from Iraq to Iran, okay? Fleeing from Saddam Hussein's regime, becoming a refugee in Iran, living in camps for almost 9 months without any international intervention. Then marrying at age 15, arranged marriage, moving to America with my husband, whom I barely knew. He was a friend of family. That was very difficult. But thank God I had a supportive husband, very educated, that held my hand all the way through until I reached my dream, finished my college, got my master's, and I worked and still work for the US government as an analyst. While I was working, I said, I wrote this book. The book was hard, to write a book, it was hard. The hard part was becoming an author, was finding the courage to tell my story openly, because there was a lot of hardship. So that was kind of, one of my, patience. I also took patience and persistence to transform those experiences into words that I could inspire and resonate with others, you see? So it was kind of difficult balancing, raw emotion with clarity and shaping personal history into the story that speaks to the reader was greatest challenge and the most rewarding part of my journey, if that
What
makes
it does, what values do you like to see in the next generation or two that you don't see now that you are aware of?
the value. Today's, youth take everything for granted. They have all these gadgets and they have, everything is at their fingertip. Like I will speak from my own kids and family. Anything they want, they have it. They don't have to work hard for it because mom and dad, grandparents will pay for it. So they didn't really have that kind of hardship that my husband and I went through. So I would like to see the children to work hard, not to depend on themselves. You see what I mean?
Correct. Correct. Are you working on another book?
Well, right now I've been thinking about it, but right now I'm trying to promote this book and tell stories. Like in a month or so, I have book signing at one of the Iranian foundation that I'm going to later on share with you. I write a lot of articles as well, by the way, various newspapers in US and in Kurdistan as well.
Any specific special message to the women?
Oh, women, please work. Never depend on anyone. Even though like the husband would be nice, he will tell you, oh, you don't have to work. I will provide everything for you. You never know what the future holds. That person could get sick. That person could leave you. That person's finance could change. So always depend on yourself. I have been one of those that I've never ever asked anyone for anything. I've done everything on my own. So women have to depend on themselves, have courage to get up and work and go to school. For those who are not educated, they could get it's easy nowadays to be educated through internet, through, you can take classes online. You don't have to go outside.
So you are highly encouraging women to get skills, higher skills and
Absolutely.
education to be
So
self-independent. I
self
think this is the message that we really need to share with around the world
absolutely.
because
And self-independent is the most important thing for the woman to do.
right. And with education, we cannot go wrong. Never
Absolutely.
ever.
Nowadays it's so easy. You can go online and learn, from elementary all the way to masters.
Si- Since your story is full of resilience, full of up and down, what you do when you hit problem, what do you turn to? What do you do? How to overcome a challenge?
Okay, with faith and courage and not giving up, which I have faced a lot of, challenges and I've had a lot of wall in front of me in the past, but I've broken them all and, no barrier now.
So I have here a book pulled up from Amazon. Let's take a look
Yes.
and get your reaction. There you go. This is your book.
Yes, that is.
So tell us about this picture, where this is, and tell us a little bit about what you see.
This is a picture of a woman who has worked entirely for her family, for herself. This photo was taken in my dining room by a dear friend who was an photographer. As you can see, I'm wearing my traditional outfit, Kurdish clothes. Why I named my life, my food, my Kurdistan is one, my life. It's about the story that I've endured. My Kurdistan is about my homeland, my birthplace. A place I would love to visit is Jerusalem. I know it's kind of because I read a lot about it. It's full of history, culture, spiritual meaning. I am down to, its old streets. I'm drawn to the old streets and the sacred places and the stories that have shaped people for thousands of years. I also love to visit Egypt to see the amazing history and culture. I want to explore like Turkey, especially the Kurdish cities, to connect more with my heritage and experience the people, tradition, landscaping, and, which are all part of my life. Those are the
Correct.
places I'd like to. I have basically seen all over Europe, Middle East. Basically, I've seen some, but Europe I've seen. But those are the two places I really want to go see, which I'm going to eventually. They're on my bucket
Any
list.
any book or an author that inspires you?
You know, I've read many books, but I like the books that tell stories, not political books, not what's going on right now in the world. That's all, to me, it's nonsense. I like books that tell story of struggling. So there are a lot of authors out there, but I cannot think of one particular.
Sure, no problem. My last question to you that I ask on my show is this: what is the one message to the world that you would like to give to?
If I could share one message with the world, would be never to give up on your dream. Never. Okay. Cherish your heritage. Face every challenge with courage and trust that your hard work and determination will guide you forward. Life will test you. And there will be times of struggle, which I have, as I mentioned, had a few. But with hope, strength, faith, and brave heart, you rise above. Okay, and keep moving forward the life you dream of. But my
Man,
message mostly for women is please, please, please to become an independent.
what a great story you have. Great
Thank you.
interview.
Thank
You're,
you.
you're doing good work, good cause. You're uplifting. You're giving value to the people in humanity. I truly appreciate you spending some time with us, getting to know
Appreciate
you and your
meeting
book.
you.
We're going to try to get this word across as much as we would love to have you again and talk some more.
Thank you very much for your time and have a nice day.
Bye bye.